Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter of class 10th NCERT book, that is the carbon and its compounds. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So in this chapter we have started with the introduction of carbon compounds, and we saw that carbon is the element which is present in each and every living as well as non-living things. Okay, so whenever the living things are being formed, their cells are made up of carbon. Okay, so here what happens, if we talk about human beings also, our body is also, it has 14% of the human body is also made up of carbon and its compounds. Okay, so we have also talked about the covalent bonding in carbon compounds. Okay, so after that we saw that carbon is present in each and every living creature, and after sometimes what happens, when the animals and plants are dead, they are actually stored in the body of plants and animals, and once these animals and plants are dead, then what happens, they are going to be degraded and they are present in the earth's crust in the form of the fossil fuels. Okay, what happens, the dead body gets buried inside the soil, and after some times what happens, it gets converted in the form of fossil fuels. Okay, so these fossil fuels are then extracted back, and then we are utilizing these carbon and its compounds in fulfilling our needs. Okay, for example, if we are taking out coal, if we are taking out petroleum, it is utilized in the form of the carbon, and it is a, I mean, this is also a form of carbon, and this is being utilized for basic needs, for satisfying the needs of the human beings. Okay, so this was about the introduction and whatever we have saw, yes, whatever we have seen yesterday in the online class. Okay, so now I'm going to describe about the bondings in the this covalent bonding in the carbon and compounds. So yesterday we saw that bonds are of what are bonds. Bonds are those force of attraction which is present in the compounds, whereas they are, because of this attraction only, the new compounds are being formed. Okay, now what kind of interaction is this? The interaction could be because of the electrons sharing or the complete removal or acceptance of the electrons. Okay, now there were two types of bondings, ionic bonding and covalent bonding. So in ionic bonding, what happens, the electrons are taken up, they are completely removed or they are completely donated to the species where this reaction is taking place. Okay, so next, what is it, whenever we are seeing the compounds where the covalent bond is being shown, so this covalent bond is always because of, why is this covalent bond? So this covalent bond is formed because of the sharing of electrons. Now, how is this sharing of electrons taking place? This sharing of electrons always takes place because one of the element is electron deficient and the other element is electron in excess. They have electrons in excess. Okay, so now what happens, just because of the presence of extra electrons, the species wants to donate its electrons or accept its electrons. Okay, now how does this happen? This only we are going to study today, that how is this covalent bond being formed in the carbon. Now, if we talk about carbon, we have seen that carbon's atomic number is 6. Okay, it is 6. So see, 6 we always write. Okay, now here 6 means it is the atomic number, and if you are going to configure it, so what kind of numbers you are going to get? You will get 2 and 4. So whatever is there in the K shell is completely filled, and whatever electrons are there in L shell, they are incomplete. Why they are incomplete? Because at least 2 or 8 electrons must be present. So in the first shell, it should have always 2 electrons, which means this one is complete because of the 2 electrons are present. And the next shell, which is the L shell, it is incomplete because it has 4 electrons. So how many more electrons it needs to complete its octet? 4. Octet means number 8. It should have in the valence shell, it should have at least 8 or 2 electrons. So in If it is having only one shell, it means that it should have only two electrons. Now if the shells are increasing, then what happens? They are going to they should have at least 8 electrons. Okay, so they should have at least 8 electrons. So how many more electrons it requires? It requires 4 more electrons. Now either it should release 4 electrons so that only 2 electrons are left in the first shell, or they should also attract 4 more electrons to complete its octet. So either of them is possible. Now see what happens. The valency is 4. What is the valency of this? What is the valency of carbon? So it is maximum of 4. It is valency is always it is the last number in which you could study the valency, because valency is not more than 4. Okay, now why is it so? Why valence electrons are not they should not be present more than 4 electrons in the valence shell? What is the reason for this? So what the reason behind the concept that electrons should be 4 in number in the outermost shell? Why? It's because that 4 electrons are not easy to donate, or 4 electrons are not easy to accept, because whenever they require 4 electrons, it is very much difficult for the carbon to accept 4 electrons, or it is very much difficult for the carbon to donate these 4 electrons which are present in the shell. Okay, so that is why what happens, the 4 electrons they cannot donate, neither they could donate, nor they are going to attract 4 electrons from somewhere. Okay, so both the conditions are impossible. So what happens, they have thought, it means there is one more concept, that they can share their electrons. So what they do, these carbon compounds, they are going to share the electrons. So they are going to share the 4 electrons. Once they are going to share the electrons, what will happen? They are going to form more and more compounds. Why? Because they are giving 4 electrons for doing the reactions. So for doing reactions, they have enough electrons now. So because of which these carbon compounds could be many in number. Okay, aldehydes, ketones, saturated compounds, unsaturated compounds, many are there. But it has been excluded from your syllabus. That is why I'm not emphasizing much things about it. So just think over it, and you could also understand that carbon has 4 electrons in the valence shell, and these 4 electrons are responsible for the formation of the covalent bonds. Now there are 3 types of covalent bonds. The first type of covalent bond is the single bonding. Okay, now what kind of sharing is taking place? I said that this sharing is taking place somewhere. So how is the sharing taking place? How many types of sharing it could happen? So the sharing of electrons could be either one pair, okay, one pair of electrons are shared, or 2 pairs of electron, or 3 pairs of electron. Okay, so why this is happening? If one pair of electron is shared, it means it forms single bond. So how many types of covalent bonds are there? It could be single bonding, because only 2 electrons are shared or one pair is shared, so this becomes single bond. Next is the double bond. Why double bonding? Because 2 pairs of electrons are shared. Now the next is the triple bonding. Next is the triple bond. Why triple bond? Because 3 pairs of electrons are shared. So single bond, double bond and triple bond are the 3 types of covalent bonds which are being formed because of the sharing of the electrons from this carbon atom. Okay, so maximum of how many electrons it could share? It could share 3 pairs of electrons. Now it could give 3 pairs of electrons, because of which the triple bond is formed. So here the compounds with single bond is known as the saturated compounds, whereas the carbon compounds which have double and triple bond, they are known as the unsaturated compounds, okay, because they have more than one bonding. Means double or triple bond is there, it means they are known as the unsaturated compounds. Now I'll not go in details about this saturated and unsaturated compounds because hydrocarbons are excluded from your syllabus. So I'll just come up with the things which are present in your syllabus. Still they are there in your syllabus. It is just a superficial idea about the carbon and its compound. So what you need to know is that there are three types of what is covalent bond. I told you that covalent bonds are the bonds, it is the force of attraction between the electrons, which is taking place either the sharing of one electron or sharing of two electrons, two pair of electrons, okay? Then it could be three pairs of electrons. So whenever the sharing is taking place in this manner, it is going to form the single bond, double bond and the triple bonds. Okay, so this was all about the covalent bondings. Now I am going to give you certain examples which is related with the double, triple and the single bondings. Means what kinds of covalent bonds are being formed, let us see. Okay, so how you are going to see this is just remember that what is the meaning of the word covalent bondings and how is this taking place. So this is always taking place because of the sharing of the electrons. Okay, remember this. So how much sharing is possible? One pair, two pair and three pairs of electrons are sharing is possible. Now if you think that what is the difference between covalent and ionic compounds, we have discussed this yesterday also, that covalent compounds and the ionic compounds has much difference in it. So covalent compounds have a lesser boiling and the melting point, whereas the ionic compounds have the greater boiling and the melting points. Okay, so that is why they could form different types of compounds. And please remember that ionic bonds are always formed when the electrons are taken away completely, okay, or they are completely donated. Either of the two situations are possible. They completely take away the electrons because metals have the tendency to accept to donate electrons, and non-metals have the tendency to accept electrons. Okay. Similarly, these are the ways by which the metals and non-metals are being formed because of the removal and the donation of the electrons from in their outermost shell. And always and always and always the participating electrons are the only outermost electrons. There are none other electrons which are going to participate in the chemical reactions. Please remember, only the valence shell's electrons are responsible for interaction, and it is responsible for the reaction to take place. So whenever the last electrons, means valence shell electrons, are present, they are only going to interact with each other, and they are going to form the chemical reactions, and then only the chemical reactions will take place. Why? Because outermost electrons are easy to remove. It is easy to add up electrons in the outermost shell, in the valence shell, whereas if you are disturbing the other shells, which is innermost shell or second means last to last shells are there, so we cannot disturb them. Why? Because much more energy is required to take out electrons from the inner shells rather than to take out electrons from the outer shells. Okay, so it is very easy for the chemical reactions to happen just because that these reactions are going to take place because of the outermost electrons are participating in the reaction. Okay, so these electrons which are present in the outermost shells, they are only going to participate in the chemical reactions. So that is why we are only considering the valence electrons. And how many valence electrons are there in carbon? It has 4 valence electrons which are responsible for the interaction in the making of the carbon compounds. Okay, so we have learnt about that in class 9. We know that reactivity is always explained because of the combining capacity of the atom. So what is the combining capacity here? Combining capacity means it is the valency of any element. So valency of carbon is 4. It means that it has a maximum 4 this carbon atom could combine 4 times from 4 different types of atoms at the same time. Okay, now what happens when we know that reactivity of the element is explained as a tendency to attempt the completely filled outermost shell. Now why this is happening? This is happening just because that it should need the there is a need for attaining the completely filled outermost shell. Okay, so there is always a need that it is always possible for the electrons to be present in the outermost shell, and that should complete its octet. Okay, now this is possible only when the four more electrons are added up in the carbon. Okay, so how it is possible? It is only possible when this carbon which has 6 atoms, this 6 electrons, this is equal to 2 and 4. So it means it requires how many? 4 more electrons should be added in the next shell, that is the L shell, where it could combine with 4 types of atom so that it could interact and form a new compound. Okay, so now the combining capacity of carbon is more, but the problem is that 4 electrons could not be possible for any element to give or to take these 4 electrons away so that it should complete, it should come to its stable electronic configuration, or it should attain the noble gas configuration. Why noble gas configuration? Because noble gas are these are those species which have the stable electronic configuration, and they are not going to react with any other substance. Okay, so that is why noble gas configuration is required, or these carbon atoms also try to attain the noble gas configuration. Okay, so what happens next is, it is to attain the noble gas configuration here in this case of carbon, the 4 electrons are required, or 4 electrons should be taken off. So what happens? These carbon compounds, it is not possible to gain 4 electrons and become anions, whereas it is very difficult for the nucleus to hold 6 protons or 10 electrons. Okay, so it is very much difficult. So extra electrons it is not possible to add on in the carbon atom. Now next what happens, it is again 4 electrons to lose is also not possible. It could not lose 4 electrons at once to form cations, carbon cation. Okay, so anions and cations are not possible. Now the third condition happens here, that is the sharing of these 4 electrons. Means 2 pair of electrons are there which are to be shared with the different elements and could form different types of compounds. Okay, so the carbon overcomes this problem by sharing its valence electrons with other atoms of carbon or the atoms of other elements. Okay, so it is not just carbon, but there are other elements to form molecules by sharing electrons. So this sharing electrons is only possible because of the formation of which type of bond? It is only possible when the covalent bonds are being formed. So how many types of covalent bonds? It could be single, double, or triple covalent bond could be formed. It is okay. So the shared pairs of, now whatever pairs are being shared, it belongs to the next species which is sharing the electron. Okay, I'll just discuss this once again with the example, how the sharing is taking place and how is the shared pair used by each of the sharing species. Okay, now if molecules are to be formed, then what is done? One more atom has to come to form molecule. At least 2 atoms should be there to combine to form molecules. If we talk about oxygen atom, if we talk about hydrogen atom, so if we take up hydrogen atom, so how many atoms are required to form one molecule of hydrogen? So it requires 2H. Okay, so the formula becomes H2. So how many atoms are required for hydrogen? It requires H plus H atoms to form one molecule of hydrogen. Okay, so what happens here? So here one thing is possible, that one atom which is responsible is going to connect with other hydrogen atom to form one hydrogen molecule. Now that is why here only the sharing is going to take place. How is sharing going to take place? The sharing is going to take place in the manner that it is going to form the bonds now. What kind of bonds will be formed? It is going to form double or triple or single bonds, okay? And shared pairs of electrons are going to be counted in both the conditions. To both these electrons, to both these atoms, the shared pairs will be counted. Now, how it is being done? Just you'll see after few minutes. So what happens? The shared pairs of electrons belong to the outermost shell, to the other shells also, to both the atoms, which leads both the atoms to attain the noble gas configuration. Means the octet or duplet will also be completed for this atom and for this, both the conditions. So this atom will also have the complete duplet. Here also next hydrogen atom will also have the complete duplet, because it has only one electron for sharing. So it is going to take one more electron from the other atom of hydrogen, and both of them are going to share one electrons with each other, and at the same time whoever requires these electrons, it is going to be taken up by that particular atom. This is how the sharing is done. Okay, so the simplest molecule which is to be formed in this manner is of hydrogen. Okay, so what is the atomic number for hydrogen? Let us find out how is this being done. Okay, we will just form the covalent bond of hydrogen. We'll just form the hydrogen covalent bonding. So the first covalent bond is of hydrogen. It is of to form hydrogen molecule. Now, how you are going to form hydrogen molecule? Let's see. So here, if we take hydrogen as one, we will draw the configuration for this. Now, it has how many electrons? It has one electron, okay? One electron is present here in hydrogen atom. Now, to form molecule of hydrogen, it requires one more, because see, this is hydrogen is having 1 as the atomic number, so it has only one electron in K shell. Now what happens for combining, for getting the stable electronic configuration, this K shell should have one more electron. Okay, so what happens? This is going to borrow electron from others. Either some other compound should give electron, or it is going to form molecule by borrowing electron from its next hydrogen atom. Okay, so one more hydrogen atom is there which is going to have one electron in it. So now how many, if these two electrons, see, and the symbol for representing is either dot or cross. Okay, so dot and cross is used to denote it is used for giving the sign for each and every electron. So either you will denote these in the dot form, or they will be denoted in the form of the cross. So I have used one electron as dot and other electron as cross. Okay, so these are the valence electrons which we are sharing, which always take part in the sharing. Please remember, only outermost shell electrons are they have a capability for sharing, accepting or losing. They can only be accepted, they could only be taken out from the outermost shell. Okay, so what happens for forming one hydrogen molecule? So these one hydrogen atom is there. This is hydrogen atom. This is hydrogen atom. Okay, this is another hydrogen atom. Now these are going to combine with each other. How they are going to combine? These two electrons will be shared. How they are going to shared? Here H with this circle, with this dot, and here one more H is there with the cross. Okay, means one electron here, one electron here. Now they are going to combine. If they are going to combine, what kind of structure will be formed? It will be formed in this manner. So the shared pair of electrons come in this portion which is common to both of them. Okay, which is common to both of these atoms. Now hydrogen atom is going, it has become, now this is forming hydrogen molecule. Why hydrogen molecule? It's very easy, that one electron has been shared from this hydrogen atom and one electron is being shared from the other hydrogen atom. So these shared pair of electrons, now both of them has 2 electrons. If this hydrogen needs the stable electronic configuration, this is going to take up the 2 electrons. It becomes stable because K shell should have maximum number of 2 electrons. It has 2 electrons. Next also has the same thing. It is going to take up the 2 electrons when the shared pairs are required. So this hydrogen also will take up the shared pairs with them, and it will show the stable electronic configuration. And how it is going to be denoted? It is going to form the single covalent bonding. Why? Because only one pair of electron is shared. Okay, so one pair of electrons, how you are going to denote? H, this line is going to tell you that it is the single bonding. Okay, so this shows single bond, and this one line means 2 electrons are being shared. Okay, either cross or dot could be represented. So if you are not drawing this, this is also, it's not wrong. So how is this single bond denoted? H, single bond H. Okay, so this is how the single bonding is being made. Okay, now this is now about covalent bonding. Now I'll show you one more structure which is going to form the double bonding. Okay, now what about double bonding? Okay, here for double bonding. Okay, so here we will take nitrogen, we will take oxygen molecule. Oxygen molecule. Okay, how oxygen molecule? We require 2 oxygen atoms to combine to form oxygen, to form the covalent bonds, and then it will be possible for the oxygen to combine and be stable, to give stable electronic configuration. Fine. How this is being done? Let's find out. So this oxygen has how many electrons in the outermost shell? Please tell me, because what is the configuration for oxygen? What is the atomic number of oxygen? The atomic number of oxygen is how much? Please tell me. Okay, what is the electronic configuration for the oxygen? It has 6 valence electrons in the outermost shell. Okay, so it has 8, as oxygen has 8 number of electrons, and that is why now what happens? The formation of double bond will take place. How this is possible? Because the oxygen will form, it is going to attain the stable electronic configuration by sharing its pairs of electrons. Because it has 8, its atomic number is 8, and it is going to form how much? 2 and 6. 6 plus 2, 7, 8. Okay, so this is K, this is L. So L shell has 6 electrons. Now how you are going to show these 6 electrons on this oxygen atom? Either by the dot or by the cross. We'll just use cross. 2, 4 and 6 electrons. Okay, similarly we are going to write it on the other also. 2, 4 and 6 electrons are present. Now what happens? This is going to, you can write down these crosses anywhere. It's not 2 electrons here, 2 electrons here, 2 electrons here, and 2 electrons could be present here. Now for completing the octet, how much more electrons it requires? 6 is already there. How much more? 2 more electrons are required. 6 plus 2, 8 electrons will be there in the outermost shell, and it will attain the stable electronic configuration. Now here also, if the electrons if these atoms are going to come near to each other, what happens? It requires 2 more electrons. If these 2 electrons come this side or these 2 electrons go this side, it is going to form the stable electronic configuration. Now what happens? So if this oxygen is present, and I'll draw like this. So here what happens? Oxygen is present. Here one more oxygen is there. Okay, now what happens? This is going to share the pairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now what about if this requires 8 electrons, 6 plus 2, this electron has been shared from the other species. So if one oxygen requires, it will take all the 8 electrons, 2, 4, 6 and 8 with the shared pair electrons. So it is going to form the stable electronic configuration. Similarly, the next oxygen atom, 2, 4 and 6 plus 2, 8. So it is going to take up the next oxygen, the next atom of oxygen will take up all the 8 electrons, and it is going to form the stable electronic configuration. Now how many pairs of electrons are being shared? 2 pairs of electrons are being shared. Total 4 electrons are being in the shared. So this area, which is common to both of them, shows covalent bonding. So how you are going to write the covalent bonding between oxygen? O, double lines and then again O. So this shows it is double bonding. Okay, so this shows it is double bonding. Okay, so it's very easy to understand how many double or single bonds are present and how many electrons are being shared. It is very much equivalent to each other. So children, that was all about the double and the single bonding which is required in the covalent bonding, and one more bond is there, that is triple bond. We'll discuss this in the next class. So I think you all have understood, if one pair of electron is shared, it is going to form single bond as it was present in hydrogen. It was present in hydrogen, H single bond H. Similarly, in oxygen, O double bond O is present. It means 2 pairs of electrons are being shared. As you could see, one pair of electron and the next pair of electron is this one. So this was how is the covalent bond being formed, and this is how the covalent bonds exist in nature. Similarly, you could form more compounds, more covalent compounds, and those species, those molecules which have covalent bonds in them, they are known as covalent compounds. So carbon forms always covalent compound because it is going to combine 4 more electrons in it. Okay, that is why it is always forming the covalent compound in the nature, and numerous of compounds are present because of the combining capacity of the carbon. So children, that was all about today's video. I will meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be discussed. So that's all for today.